Hey there, marketers. You're listening to the Son of a Pitch podcast, the show where we break down what's actually working in marketing today without the fluff. I'm your host, Kenneth Spreesley, and this week we're talking about why most marketing failed in 2025 and the messaging gaps that quietly kill results across every industry. This episode is brought to you by Pitch Cloud, the creative and content studio helping brands stand out with clean storytelling, sharp visuals, and strategy that actually converts. Learn more at pitchcloudmanagement.com. Let's jump in. Here's the truth you'll feel in your gut. If you've done marketing for any amount of time, you can do all of the right things and still get poor results. You can follow trends, you can post consistently, you can write solid copy, shoot good video, optimize your hashtags, and even run paid ads consistently. And the campaign still won't move the needle. And when that happens, most people immediately blame the algorithm, the platform, the time of day, the ad spend, the content format, or even the audience. But 9 times out of 10, those aren't the real issues. The biggest reason marketing fails today is simple. The message isn't clear enough for the average person to grasp instantly. And we're basically climbing over each other for the user's attention. We're in an ecosystem now where it's the fight for that person's attention from everything, every brand, every company that's on their phone, on their TV, all around them. And people aren't watching content the same way that they used to. They're skimming, they're scrolling, they're half listening, they're multitasking, checking notifications, pausing to reply to text. So when your message reaches them, it has to cut through all of that noise. Most people are experiencing your brand at a checkout line or in a car at a red light, in the middle of switching between apps, while responding to group chats, while watching TV in the background. They're not evaluating your content in a calm, quiet room. That means your message must make sense instantly, must communicate value immediately, and eliminate confusion completely. Because the second someone has to think, they scroll. Now let's define the messaging gap. That's the heart of this episode, really. The messaging gap is the disconnect between what you think you're saying and what the audience actually hears. This gap shows up in 3 major ways, and you'll recognize every one of these. The first way, talking about what you do, not what it means to the customer. A lot of brands lead with technicalities, lead with features and processes, but customers care about outcomes and emotional impact. The second one, content looks polished, but the message is unclear. Many brands have great visuals and weak words. And in marketing, words are the engine. Pretty content without a message is decoration, not strategy. The third one, your audience can't repeat what you do. If a person can't explain your brand in 1 quick sentence, your messaging is too complex. You should be able to overhear someone say, yeah, that's the company that does X for people like Y. If they can't, you've lost clarity. Now, across every industry, whether it's tech, healthcare, apparel, real estate, software as a service, coaching, agencies, the brands that are winning right now have one thing in common. Their message is simple enough for a distracted person to understand it on the first try. That's it. That's the whole game. We can wrap up this podcast. It's over. No, but I'm going to give you 4 messaging tools that top performing brands consistently use. And none of them rely on gimmicks. None of them rely on made up success stories. These are universal principles that work anywhere. The first one is the 1-sentence clarity pitch. So we're going to fill in the blank statements, okay? We help blank, that's your audience, achieve blank, that's your desired outcome, without blank, that's the common frustration or the pain point. This instantly tells people who you help, what you help them do, and the obstacle you remove. It removes all guessing. The second one is the transformation snapshot. So humans usually make decisions based on the difference between where they are versus where they want to be. So I want you to write 2 lists. The first one is before, which is going to explain how people feel right now before using your product, before using your service, before the problem is fixed. The second one will be after, how people will feel when their problem is solved, after they use your product or after they use your service. This becomes your copy. This becomes your headlines. It becomes your landing page text. It becomes your social captions. It becomes your story scripts. People don't remember features. They remember how they feel. and how you promise they'll feel. The third is using the 10th grade rule. A lot of businesses, a lot of companies, a lot of brands like to use jargon. If someone in high school wouldn't understand your message, it's too complicated. This isn't about dumbing down things. It's about removing unnecessary barriers. A person should understand who you serve, what you do, and why it matters without needing prior knowledge, industry vocabulary, jargon, or context. Clear is always greater than clever. And the last one I'll leave you with is the 5-second test. Now, this is brutal, but powerful. I want you to show your homepage or your main social content to someone for 5 seconds. Then ask, what do you think this brand does? If they can't answer confidently, your messaging isn't working yet. Most brands spend thousands improving visuals, but clarity often costs nothing and creates the biggest lift. Now, if there's one principle I want you to walk away with today, it's this: clear messaging beats complex marketing every time. The brands that will win in 2026 will be the ones that prioritize clarity, simplicity, and speed of understanding, not trends, not gimmicks, not overproduced content. If you can communicate clearly, your marketing finally has room to breathe. This wraps up today's episode of Son of a Pitch. If this helped sharpen you or has given you some new ideas in approaching marketing, please share it with a friend, share it with a fellow marketer. Next week, we'll break down the 3 strategies that will dominate marketing in 2026 and how you can start using them right now. For creative support and content strategy, visit pitchcloudmanagement.com. We'll see you next week.